What's good, YouTube? This your boy Hollywood Code 85, aka Hollywood Hendo, in the building. And I know this is rare because you don't really get too many videos with me on the video, but this is me, Hollywood Hendo, your fat boy, your favorite fat boy, and Ninja Turtle Pride, of course. Nah, real talk though. Today's video, what I'm gonna do is something a little different. I'm gonna do what I think for as top 10 games I want to see. I'm not gonna put them in any order, but these are gonna be top 10 games that I wanna see on the next gen console. So these are some games that are maybe defunct, maybe not around anymore. The companies may have crashed, but I wanna see these games come around. And I want them to come back because I think today, with all the impact in all the games, or like, you know, graphically, technology-wise, these games would excel. Some of them are more recent. Some you may have to go look back, man, from 1991. It's gonna be a rare list. Some things gonna be more obvious, so definitely leave your feedback. Tell me what you want to see on next gen if it's not listed. Also subscribe, like, comment on this channel, please. I'm looking for some subscribers. I'm just a gamer just like the rest of you guys. Definitely want to show some love to all the gamers out there. You know, if you're on Twitch, I'll definitely follow you on Twitch, man. If you got an interesting gaming channel or anything like that, sneakers, because you know I talk my kicks today. Nothing special I got on today on my feet, I don't think. Just some basic Jordan mid ones, trying to match the shirt up with the green ones, you know what I'm saying? So, you know how that goes. So, shout out to all the gamers. My list is gonna be pretty tight. So, man, I'm gonna try to get some video footage together of each game. So, maybe some nostalgia things, but definitely leave your feedback, criticism, everything. Peace. All right, so this game right here, or this franchise alone, and shout out to THQ, because this is where, for me personally, my wrestling craze came from, and I've been a wrestling fan all my life. I'm not as big into it as I was younger, but man, THQ really at the zenith of WCW and WWF and their Monday Night Wars. They put out some great games. And shout out to THQ, and rest in peace to THQ. I think they defunct a few years ago, so man, that's how a moment of silence for them. But let's get to this real quick. So I won't say this started my wrestling craze for video games, because I remember the Royal Rumble arcade and the WrestleMania arcade that was out in the arcades and also on Sega Genesis. I used to pick Bam Bam Bigelow all the time, and the Macho Man Randy Savage. Rest in peace to both of those guys. THQ, man, when they dropped this, the first one was WCW versus NWO World Tour. That's to my knowledge. And I remember when I got my 64, we went to Funkoland, and I think this game had just dropped that week, and my grandmother was like, what game do you want? And I remember it was this game. And I actually had this game today. And man, when I tell you I was just so excited to play this game, it was Hollywood Hogan, and it was the Giant at the time. I guess the Big Show, Paul White, was on the front of it. And it was just so easy to play. It wasn't all this button smashing to do one move. You press A to grapple, and then you go from there. So that was that. And then they dropped WCW versus NWO Revenge. And that game there was the zenith for me. I thought you couldn't get no better, right? And to me, that is one of my top 15 favorite games of all time, WCW versus NWO Revenge. So, and I was a big WCW fan, and I was a big Wolfpack guy. Shout out to Sting, who's my favorite wrestler of all time. I played nightless of games. That intro in the beginning was amazing. And then they went crazy, and they went to the WWF side of things once the WCW defunct, I guess, and they dropped WrestleMania 2000. And then that's when we could start creating wrestlers, which I was like, whoa. I think I had like 1,000 special moves with my person, and that was amazing. I think you can go backstage on that. It was just all kind of stuff. The storyline was crazy and long. And then they brought out No Mercy, WWF No Mercy. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. It's just so much going on. So, man, THQ did their thing. And I think, man, if they were to remake this game with the same roster, the same wrestlers, just put it in HD, make a little remake for us, this game would sell out day one. Any one of the four will sell out day one. I mean, THQ did their thing for this. To me, this will always be remembered for me as one of the greatest fighting games or sports games to me personally, because, like, you couldn't get no better. And I shout out to WWE 2K. Right now, they're doing their thing with the wrestling, but it's not like this, man. I mean, it was just so simplistic to play this game, and I think when it's simple, it's easy. So shout out to this. So we definitely want this on next gen. All right, so we know what this game is. There's no mystery. This is the greatest zombie game of all time, Left 4 Dead. And this was a Valve release. I don't know what year, but man, this to me is the greatest zombie game of all time. I'm glad they put the Left 4 Dead 2 on Xbox One backwards compatibility. I don't know why they didn't put the first one on there, but they did put the second one, which I mean, obviously it's a lot better. It was more added to it. The storyline is amazing. A lot of controversy if you go read about it. But man, we need this on next gen. I don't know why Valve is tripping. I know they trying to do their own system and do other things, but to me, this is the greatest zombie game of all time. No offense to all the great zombie games that have been out. I remember playing House of Dead on Dreamcast, but nothing compares to this game. So Valve, get off your ass and please give us a new next gen. All right, so I know this is gonna come a bit of a shock for some of you because, man, out of all games, I picked this game, but man, this was a great game. I think this is a really good game. Very slept on. This is LA Noire. Um, where can I start with this? Okay, so I know, which I'm going to talk about another Rockstar game, and I think we all know what game we want on next gen. But man, to me, this game was before its time. This was like actually, to me personally, one of the first games that I've had to really sit there and not go through cutscenes and press a button. Just was anxious to play. I really sat there and watched it, no matter how time consuming it was. I mean, the graphics on this game were phenomenal. The gameplay was great. The storyline was crazy how it ended with the guy. I won't go into detail if you never played it. I would like to see a new version of LA Noire. I know they used the motion technology, which was amazing. But man, to me personally, this game was the genesis. This is where it all started. For me, when I say like mystery games, I did play Clue on Sega Genesis, LOL. But you know, I don't know what else to say about this. I like this game. I want to see a new one on next gen. I know this is going to be kind of a culture shock for everybody else, but I mean, look at this, man. Look at these graphics. That looks amazing. You can't tell me that don't look amazing. I think with open world, with all the advanced technology, this would be amazing. So shout out to Rockstar for this one. I think it was Bungie. They fired everybody from Bungie, if I'm not mistaken, or the rumor was, but this was amazing. Whoa, look at the way this video start up. But to me, yes, this is my favorite video game of all time. My favorite video game of all time, Road Rash. I was just gonna say Road Rash 2 probably is. I could be wrong. I'm probably gonna end up taking this back. But the greatest game, racing game to me of all time. I need this game on next gen. I have been dying for this game on next gen. I don't know what happened. I remember like buying Road Rash 1, buying Road Rash 2, then buying Road Rash 3, and then that was on Sega Genesis, right? Then going to PlayStation and getting Road Rash on PlayStation. I didn't mess with Jailbreak or whatever the other Road Rash was, but I remember on N64, I got that version of Road Rash, and that was it. Man, this is one of the greatest games of all time to me personally. I don't know. It's my favorite game of all time. And I know that sounds crazy because I come from a sports gaming perspective. This is considered a sport because it's racing, but this is a great game. I know it looks simplistic. It looks nothing of fun of sorts, but I remember fighting with the clubs, the chains, just all kind of weapons. I think on Sega, the 3 it had a cattle prod, which is basically a taser of sorts, oil cans or whatever it was. Just all kind of crazy stuff, man. You could be a cop on there. It's just basically a simple racing game. I remember they added a little more features to the 64 version. But man, I want this game on next gen. I remember Electronic Arts, as you saw in the beginning, made the original game. I don't know. I think somebody else took it over eventually, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong with that. But man, we need this on next gen. Well, not we. I need this on next gen. I will pay top dollar for this game on next gen. I can imagine the limit. So yes, Road Rash, please come to next gen. Please. All right, you know what game this is, and man, I just want to see this on next gen for the simple reason. Could you imagine this game in a GTA world? I mean, it's basically GTA if you think about it but in an open world kind of format. So shout out to Streets of Rage. Um, we all know about this game. If you're a gamer, diehard gamer, if you grew up in the '90s, early '90s, definitely you played this game somehow, some way, heard about it. This is greatness upon greatness. I think today with the open world capabilities, the next gen capabilities, you can just make a rocket soccer kind of fighting game where it's open world where you can walk in the building, just beat up people, or just fight all kind of stuff. I want to see a Streets of Rage on next gen. Even if they brought back the side scrolling version like this, even just give us this. Maybe clean the graphics up a little bit, give us something more to look forward to. Maybe expand it to 4 players. I know it's taken away from the original concept of having 2 players, but I would love to see it in a 4 player, I guess, combat style. But man, could you imagine this game in the open world? And games like this are timeless. They're classic. You just don't see these games anymore in the open market. So, shout out to Streets of Rage. Man, it's just so much about this game that I love, and I think that just for nostalgia purposes, this game would do so well if it was a resale. And I know I could be completely wrong about that, but I really, truly, truly think if this game came back out, there would be a lot of gamers from the past that will come back into gaming for this simple reason. Because I know a lot of people don't game, they used to game and they play this game all day, every day. So shout out to Streets of Rage, man. This is probably one of the true first fighting games that I fought or played with. So shout out to Streets of Rage. All right, so you see it, you know what this is, and I'm not going to go into a crazy long rant about this, but we need a NCAA football for next gen. And I understand the lawsuits and everything involved in that, but man, just growing up as a kid playing Bill Walsh football, I miss college football. And the last one was NCAA 14, I believe, with Denard Robinson on the cover. We need a college football. I mean, let's be real. We know what's up. We know what we need. This is just, it's unfortunate that we have to suffer as gamers, and I'm being selfish by saying that, but we need this on next gen. I think it's a collective bunch. I think there's a lot of us that are willing to pay the extra tax to get this game. So we need a college football. I don't care where it comes from or how it comes. Honestly, I don't even care who the maker is. Obviously, EA has success doing it. If 2K wants to step up to the plate and get it, and not just football, college basketball, you know, college baseball even. I remember they had the MVP baseball, whatever it was for college, anything. So we need a college football game. I can imagine, and this game looks beautiful, by the way, still, even today when you play it. But I can imagine if you could have this game on next gen, what they could do with all the recruiting and everything. So yes, please get us next gen football. All right, I know a lot of you gonna trip out when you see this because it's like I picked this game out of all games, but man, I was a big fan of the Ghostbusters on the Xbox 360, and this was an amazing game. I just thought that the storyline, the gameplay, everything was great about it. I just wish that I had friends that were online that we could play this game together and beat it together because this game is definitely a true co-op 4 player game. The graphics were before their time, I think, a little bit. I can imagine what they would look like today on next gen. I think they could add a little bit more. Maybe make Ghostbusters into like an open world kind of GTA sort of gameplay. So, man, definitely want to see a new Ghostbusters. I want something unique. I know I keep going back to the whole GTA, I guess Grand Theft Auto open world kind of game, but I think that's where everything is going. I would love to see these kind of games in there because I think you could do a lot with them. I mean, just look at this. The graphics are amazing on this game, and I just think that a lot of people slept on this game, probably didn't care for it. I grew up watching this movie, so man, greatness upon greatness on this game. I think vastly underrated. The gameplay was very good. I didn't have an issue with it. I remember getting this game for like $19 when it came out, I believe. So definitely want to see this on next. All right, so this is Ultimate Alliance, and this is a game that I want on next gen, a newer version, And it's not that I like this game so much, but just looking at the era that we do live in, everybody now seems to love comic books and love comic book superheroes, and the movies are selling out at a record pace. I think this would be an amazing idea. And once again, go to the GTA style open world. Give us an open world like, I guess, Avengers or Ultimate Alliance or even the Justice League. Could you imagine playing with your friends online, being a superhero and fighting in an open world? I just think that would be insane. I think Ultimate Alliance kind of opened up something like that. I played the game. It was fun, but it gets a little repetitive after a while. I just hope they do make a new one, maybe make it a little more difficult to play or, just something more realistic for us, like an age range, give it to where it's more like like I said, GTA has always been my go-to, but definitely something like that. So yeah, I want to see Ultimate Alliance. All right, so this game right here is obviously to me my favorite Call of Duty of all time, Modern Warfare 2. And the reason why I brought this game up, I know they're bringing out these remakes, the HD version, but I just want next gen to go back to this style. I mean, I understand they're trying to get all futuristic with the jetpacks and people climbing walls and stuff, but man, I just want to get back to the old ways of just shooting, man. That's all. Um, don't get it twisted. I still play the Call of Duty series, the Black Ops 3. I do play that. Wasn't a big fan of Ghost and Advanced Warfare was okay, but yeah, I do play Black Ops 3. But Modern Warfare 2 to me is where it kind of like started for me with these shooters because I originally was playing like Ghost Recon when it first came out on PlayStation 2, like SOCOM, those games like that. And I really wasn't big in the first couple of Call of Duty, so I'm not gonna lie to you. But Modern Warfare 2 is where it started for me, and I just wish that they would just go back to maybe this style of fighting or shooting or whatever you want to call it. It just like this map here, Terminal, to me is one of the best maps ever on Call of Duty. Not naming Newtown and a couple of times, the Terminal is just one of the best maps I've ever seen put together. I remember they had a lot of controversy on the story mode about that map, if I'm not mistaken. But I just want next gen to go back to this style of shooting. I see Battlefield 1 is going to be looking amazing, so definitely stoked about seeing that. So yeah, it's not that I want Call of Duty back, but I want the shooters to be like this. All right, last but not least, you already know what this is. This is arguably the greatest open world game of all time, Red Dead Redemption. And I say that because, look, the proof is in the pudding. Everybody wanted this game at E3 this year, and we did not get anything about this game. We all waiting on Rockstar. I don't know what they could do for a second Red Dead Redemption, but I mean, it doesn't matter. This is an all time great game. Let's not get it twisted or backwards. I think any of us would die to have this game on next gen, even if they just did a HD remake of this game. I think you look at this game, it looks beautiful for that particular era of that console. So, and I thought at the time when we played this was just crazy how great it looked. But now we're in a new era of next gen, and we want to see a bigger map. And I think they could obviously do a bigger map on next gen. Could you imagine this game in 4K or 1080p? I couldn't imagine, man. But this is arguably, like I said, one of the greatest open world games, or it could be the greatest open world game, depending on who you ask. There's always that big debate of which game Rockstar made was the best. So, me personally, I want to see a new Red Dead Redemption on next gen console. I don't know about you, but I definitely do. All right, everybody. Once again, I appreciate you tuning into my video. Yeah, I think that post a little crooked. Nah, it can't be. But once again, I hope everybody enjoyed the video. I'll just give you a little taste of what I like and what I want to see on next gen. I gave you games like Ghostbusters, Left 4 Dead, shout out to Left 4 Dead, Road Rash, which I told y'all once again, you see the look in my face, that is probably my favorite game of all time. Ultimate Alliance, I know that's a little weird, but I had my reasons why. Any college sports, please, let's get that lawsuit cleared up. Streets of Rage, we grew up on that. LA Noir, whatever you want to call it. THQ Wrestling, the GOAT wrestling games of all time. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Please bring it back to that. And of course, the greatest open world game of all time. I don't care what y'all say. Red Dead Redemption. Actually, I do care what y'all say. I do apologize, but man, y'all know Red Dead Redemption is the real deal. Um, I want you guys to leave comments. Definitely subscribe to my channel. Like the channel. Whatever you got to do, comment on the channel. Share the video on Facebook. Um, if you got any games, put the games down in the comment section, man. I'll give you guys a shout out. If you're on Xbox Live or PlayStation Network, I do have a PS4 and Xbox One once again. Add me on there, Hollywood Code 85. That's HOLLYWOODCOLD 85. I'll definitely add you on as well. Just let me know if you came from YouTube, and we can get on some games, man. So tell me what you like. Tell me what you want to add on there. If there's anything that I did wrong, this is my first time trying to get this whole editing thing down. I hope I did a good job. Hope you guys enjoyed it. But once again, I do appreciate all the support out there. And game on. And also, I know y'all getting that Xbox One, right? The Xbox One S. Leave your comments in the section. I don't need no PlayStation fanboys here. I got a PS4, so I don't want to hear that. If you're getting the Xbox One, definitely leave your comments. I'll probably do a video on that whenever that comes out. I'm getting it day one. So shout out to everybody out there. Peace.